Forever. Dog.
Hi, everybody. It's Michelle Collins. My spiritual tank of love is full, overflowing. Why am I Lin-Manuel Miranda right now? We'll never know. I hate what I just did, but I'm not going to do it again because I'm a one-take wonder. My guest today, continuing from our earlier episode, he's a comedian, a writer. You know, my heart is so full for you, Gabe. I love you so much. He's one of the executive producers and writers on Pen 15 on Hulu, has a new animated show coming out called Q-Force, which, when is it out? When is the release date?
June 2021.
62021, baby. And
yes.
I'm so excited. Are you ever going to make me a voice on that show? Everyone I know is on it but me.
You got to do it. We got to get a season.
Here we go.
We got to get a season.
You got it. I mean, Gabe, I'm available and I'm good at it.
I'm sure you are. I mean, you have the best voice in the world. I can't believe I didn't think of that.
No one thinks of me for anything. It's fine. That's why I have to bring, you know why? Because I'm a bad networker. I'm just not good at it. I don't like to ask people for things. I'm doing it here almost as a joke, but really, am I joking? Are you good at it?
I wish I could change things.
No, don't be silly.
I wish, I'm stupid. I didn't think of it.
No, don't be silly. Are you good at networking though? How do you feel? It's tough, isn't it?
It's tough. It's embarrassing, but it's important. The people who do it and ask literally do get what they ask for, which is annoying. But no, I'm not good at it. I'm embarrassed about it. You know what? I think that this is like a New York person thing, that I feel like the hustle is really respected in LA and it's really disdained in New York. You
have really hit the nail on the head. Yes. It's
like
here you're looked at like a piece of shit in New York.
Who the fuck do you think you are? It's dorky. Mm-hmm. It's not like cool. And then out here, it's like, well, of course.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was when I moved here in my 30s, I was like, oh, there's a very different attitude about work.
Everything. Food.
Everything.
Life, love.
Yeah.
LA for me was it's like truly like scan my DNA and then have like a horror movie negative of it and make a city based on that. And it's LA. Like it's just everything. It's like the reverse of every natural instinct I have is what LA is.
Yep. That tracks.
Right.
That makes sense.
Except, and I'm curious, I always say this, but I do love an Orange County moment, even though I know that it's like truly the capital of QAnon white supremacy. Like I do love a Newport shopping day. Like because it's like kind of Miami-ish.
They've got the malls.
They've
got the ocean.
It's beautiful there. And I love Pasadena, another place not loving the Jewish people. So what's that about?
I love Pasadena.
Oh, it's the best.
Yeah. We went to Pasadena together on a shopping excursion once in your Milan. Yeah.
Where'd I take you?
We went to, I want to say J. Crew and West Elm or something like that. It was like the strip. Yeah, because we walked around the Silver Lake Reservoir.
Oh, yeah.
And then we weren't done hanging out.
Did we go to the Americana together? No.
I think we went to the shopping strip in Pasadena where it's the stores are along that one street.
The Cold Stone Creamery and
Colorado. I think it is. I think it's
Colorado. I love that boulevard. Yeah. It's the most beautiful boulevard, and then I also feel like there are gang fights on it.
Yes.
It's like you're like, wow. Go on.
We may have gone to the Container Store.
I definitely remember this. I remember pulling out of the garage, and it was on the corner, to pick some stuff up. I did make Gabe Liedman come with me to the Pasadena Container Store. This is why our friendship has lasted this long, because you're kind to me and you're good to me. I miss those
days. And my
neighbor
has a Mercury in Milan, and I think of you every day.
The QAnon one?
No.
God. I was really upset. Oh, good.
Nope. This, God, I don't know if it's, I've only seen the woman who lives there. But yeah, she's an adorable little gardener.
What color is her
She's out there
Milan?
every day
Gray?
trimming, and she has a Milan in her driveway, and I'm going to take a picture of it for you.
Wait, what color is it? Do you know?
I want to say it's navy.
Yes, that's a beautiful, that's a killer one.
It's either black or navy.
Gabe is responsible for probably one of the funniest texts I've ever gotten in my life, which is when and you'll remember this, I made the mistake within the past 6 months of looking the VIN number up of my Mercury Milan, which my Milan was my heart and soul. Gabe, how much did I love that car?
I associate it 100% with you. I would believe if it wasn't for my neighbor, I would think it was a custom made car for you.
Do you know that I see them? This is not even a joke. I'm like a mother to that car. Like I saw one on the highway this weekend and I remember thinking, it still looks good. I thought I said, you know what? 10 years later, because they stopped making them in like 2010, I said that shit looks like it's off the fucking factory floor. It looks great. It still looks modern. It's the most comfortable drive. It had great mileage. That car for me was like a gift. I loved my Milan so much.
Oh, God.
And then I looked the VIN number up and because it was like an azul blue, everyone calls it the Milan. It was my car. I don't know what happened to it. I sold it back to CarMax. I got a lot of money for it. I think I got like $9,000 for it. And I only paid 17 and I had it for 5 years. So it was like, okay, I'll take it, you know?
Yeah.
I don't know what happened. It went to some auction. I don't know who ended up in it, but Gabe has seen the photos because I sent them to you and I don't know why, because we don't talk that much, but for some reason I had to send it to you.
Yeah. And it broke my goddamn heart.
It was in a collision. I mean, I have never seen a car, unless it was used in a monster truck rally, ending up in the condition that my car that I've made out in that car. I had all my furniture was brought in that car. Like, I mean, I love that car. And it looked like, well, what you wrote to me. Do you remember what you texted to me?
No. Oh, God.
Gabe said, did it fall over a mountain? You're like, did it go over a fucking mountain? I'm like, I know. It was crushed. And then the funny thing is in the back seat, there was like a pair of underwear and a baby shoe, just one. And
no.
Yes. And I remember thinking, I think everyone was okay in the car because why? And by the way, for me, this was like the ending of a dramatic film. Where the people were sitting, that part was not really crushed badly. It was the trunk and the engine were like paper thin. And then where the people were looked okay. So my hope to God is that everyone inside was fine. But what happened to the Milan?
Well, here's your next podcast. A true crime.
Wow. Oh my God, Gabe.
You're going to find security cam footage with the license plate.
I'm going to hire a private investigator and I'm going to do an entire, this is why you have a Netflix deal. And I'm sitting here in my underwear wondering where did it all go wrong every day. That is such a good idea.
You got to do it.
All right.
You got to do it.
Tracy, we got to make this happen. Let's talk about your show instead of me rehashing the past. I've truly turned into Al Bundy. I'm Gal Bundy. Every episode, I'm just like, let's talk about the past.
Daniel and I, we watched the first couple seasons of Married with Children in our like just insane quarantine binge.
Yeah.
The beginning of that show holds up so well.
It's so funny.
It is so funny. Yeah. And what I don't remember, and it does take a turn towards the sort of like bro crowd that are just there to clap for when Kelly walks in the door. But the first handful of seasons are all about Peg. It's a Peg show. She's the star. And she is so talented and so funny. And they had a lot of women writers and directors.
It got
like when
bad
you watch the credits.
When the original Steve left. There are some Marcy Darcy episodes that are funny, but it became gross out humor only. But even through that, because I think that they were showing it on TBS in like the middle of the night, which is when I thrive with sitcoms. Even then, it still was funny. Like even there's still the joke writing was still so good in it. And I'm sorry, Ed O'Neill, by the way, also hot. Can we talk about that?
That is Daniel was always like, wait a second. In the beginning, he's kind of ripped.
He's fucking hot. Like, and by the way, he still is.
Yeah.
Hell.
I'm like, yeah.
Gabe, your lips fell off. Pick them up. That whole show was great. And even little David Faustino, it was great. It's funny that you're talking about going back to watch these sitcoms in quarantine because I reverted into like dummy 8-year-old territory when this thing first started. And I just was watching stuff from the 90s. I was like, I watched all of The Critic, which by the way, I howled with laughter. It's still so funny.
Oh, that's so smart. I got to watch that.
It's on like Tubi or something. You have to like hack it.
My cousins and I used to just remind each other about the cutaway on that show where his lipo backfires and he becomes
getting stuffed.
And he becomes a statue from Easter Island in a parade. Yes! And how hard that used to make us laugh as kids. Like, I can still bring it up to them now. We're all in our 30s. when the liposuction reverses on the critic was maybe the funniest thing.
Well,
I've ever
also,
seen in my
listen,
life.
John Lovitz is someone who I don't know his deal. I don't know if he's a good guy, a bad guy, his personal life. I don't really care to know. When you go back and watch early episodes of SNL, I mean, see, it kind of bums me out that he had a big career at one point, but he doesn't carry the same sort of weight as like obviously, look, Eddie and Adam Sandler and all these people were like mega stars. But Lovitz is one of the funniest ever. Even on Seinfeld, he was funny. When he used to do on SNL, Evil and Quince. Do you remember this?
No.
Oh my God. I have them literally saved on my laptop as like quick times because they're so funny. He would play this like Rococo, like white powdered wig with a mole. And it would be like the something in the traveling booth black. And it would just be like Tom Hanks all sweaty, making love to Victoria Jackson. May she rest in peace mentally. And, and he would just be watching and be like, oh, well, I think. I mean, he would just do this voice where he'd get turned on by this scene or whatever it is. No one's funnier than Lovitz. He's the best.
So funny.
We should try to get him on the pod.
You got it. I mean, you might be the only one who wants to. I bet he'd be thrilled.
I know, but then I'm worried that he would be weird and creepy. And then I'd be like, oh, that's backfired too sometimes,
Yeah.
Well, I guess he won't do it now that I said that. All right. Well, let's cross that one out, Tracy.
Hello, Forever Dog listeners. This is Julie Klausner.
And I'm Tom Sharpling.
And we host a podcast called Double Threat on the Forever Dog Network that we are commanding you to subscribe to. Tom, what is Double Threat?
Well, thank you for asking, Julie. Double Threat's a show where you and I listen to clips of things that drive us up the wall, and we make fun of them, and we make each other laugh, and we have a great time doing it.
And we watch silly things and listen to silly clips, like Alec Baldwin interviewing Woody Allen on his podcast, which was a nightmare from hell.
And did you know that disgraced pizza magnate Papa John is giving tours of his mansion over on TikTok? We do, because we watched it, and it was not good.
By the way, we should also mention that the AV Club named us one of the best podcasts of 2020 because they did, and it's true, and we are, baby.
And here on Double Threat, we got great guests. We had guests like Desus and Mero,
Bob the Drag Queen,
Patton Oswalt,
Io Adebri.
And that, my friends, is just the tip of the iceberg. Double Threat comes out each and every Monday, and you can subscribe on the Forever Dog Network, Apple, Spotify, or wherever you listen to your podcasts.
Do it. Subscribe. Goodbye.
Hey, Midnight Snackers. It's a very exciting day here on the podcast. I don't know whom amongst you follows me on Instagram, but a few months ago, I posted very proudly that I got an electric bike from Aventon, and I have literally fallen in love with my bike. And I thought, because it was electric, that I actually wouldn't get as much exercise from it than from your regular bike. But take it from me, fitness guru Michelle Collins, that you actually do get a workout. It's basically a regular bike. But if you're like me and you're not like in top shape, you can go anywhere you want. If you run out of steam or whatever it is, you can just flip that battery right on and it takes you where you need to go. So it's sort of the perfect bike for all occasions. You can go far, you can go on a quick ride. You get to choose the level of assistance you want from 1 to 5. And, you don't need the assistance, but I love the assistance. You don't even need to pedal when you turn that stuff on. It just takes you right into it. It makes it great for exercising, commuting, or just cruising around, enjoying the breeze through your freshly cut hair. And guess what? I love Aventon. I want you to love it too. So here's the deal. We're giving one lucky listener, could be you, an Aventon e-bike. That's right. You can win one of these for yourself. You have to go to Aventon. I'm saying it another way it's spelled. Aventon, AVENTON.com/midnight snack to enter your chance at winning a brand new e-bike. And guess what? You've got till November 30th. May we all live that long to enter this giveaway. So spend the next few months just entering over and over again. Aventon.com/midnight snack. Gling, gling. That's me wishing you good luck. Can we talk about Pen 15, please?
Yes.
First of all, it's one of those shows, Gabe, and I know you know this already. Does it ever get just sickening of how much people love it? Because I feel like every tweet now is like, this show has changed my life. I love it so much.
I find it very gratifying because it was a very like underdoggy, scrappy experience to make that show. Like it's not it's maybe the smallest production I've ever like gotten to be on set for. It was really like made against the odds because it's such a strange concept,
right?
That it was hard for Hollywood to buy into it or think that it would work. So I find it very gratifying to hear that it struck a chord with people, because when we were on set making it, I remember thinking like, people are either going to be obsessed with this or no one's going to see it. And I'm so glad it's the other thing.
I mean, I think that you actually did my old podcast when season 1 came out, because I remember we talked about like the sexual scenes and how that has to be filmed very carefully, because for those who don't watch the show, which what are you doing? These are how old are the girls in real life?
They're like 32-ish. They're in their 30s.
Grown women, hilarious women, playing themselves as teenagers, basically. But all the other actors are young. So were things, because I actually felt like this season was less sexual. There were less scenes where there were like makeouts and stuff. I noticed that, which was fine by me. It's not like I'm some creep, but I wasn't like, we're okay. I guess we're not getting makeouts this season. But was that conscious, or did that just happen to happen? Like
it just happened. It was like we just chose the stories we wanted to tell, and so much of the first. So what's out right now is the first chunk of season 2.
Oh.
There's another chunk coming.
I didn't know that.
And it just wasn't all filmed in time before the coronavirus lockdown.
When is second chunk coming out?
It'll come out in 2021 at some point. It just needs to be
God.
shot. There's just like very little bit that needs to still be shot, but it's a very, like I said, very scrappy production. So it's shot completely out of order. So there's actually a little chunk missing of the whole thing. It's not like just the last episode isn't filmed.
I see.
So it's, so this first chunk was, very much like meant to be what happens in the wake of a hookup to these kids. So they, the girls have this quote unquote threesome at the end of season 1. And then you just, as a kid, I never had hookups as a kid because I was gay and everyone hated me. But like
little baby Gabe on the show, maybe
like little baby Gabe. I love that just made it to the air. That is so special.
What?
All the Gabe stuff.
Oh, the little Gabe stuff, which we have to talk about too, because
it's so good.
He's first of all, I screen grabbed my favorite moment from the whole season, which is him backstage with the old man makeup on, just looking at himself. A scene has never spoken to me more than that. I was like, that is like, it just spoke.
You said, this is me.
Literally, like I was the bearded lady in what's that fucking Hugh Jackman movie, The Greatest Showman. I was like, this is me. Like just some fat kid with old man makeup on who's just like ahead of his time and not understood and just, sweet as sugar, like such a sweet little boy.
Yeah.
But that, I mean, how much of that like is you? Is that a horrible question? You have the same name.
We have the same name. He was Anna and Maya and Sam, who created the show. Sam directed all of the episodes that are out right now, and wrote a bunch of them, directed a bunch of season 1, created the show with the girls. They were just really welcoming to what was my experience. And the first year we had very few writers on the show. We got a couple more for the next season. But it was just like, the girls and Sam are pouring so much of their biography into it. And that just was the vibe of how to write this show. What did it feel like? What did you experience? And so they really wanted to hear what it was like to be like a closeted gay kid at that age. And, some of it's me, but a lot of my actual true experience was like too sad and too boring to make good TV. So it's fictionalized. But there were a lot of the truth of it was there. The sort of like the way that Gabe is mean to and hates Ian, the other boy in his class that comes across very gay.
Oh, yeah.
That is very true to life for me. And, what I mean by too sad and too boring to be on TV is I just mean like I never had a fake girlfriend. I didn't jerk off with my friends. Like there was things like that where
So sorry.
There's things like that just never happened because it was so taboo to even code as gay back then that people didn't come close enough to me to experience that. That was my real experience. It was just the sort of like the taboo-ness of it all. Don't even mention it. That's what it felt like. But that doesn't necessarily make good television or good storytelling. So the sort of fake relationship with Maya, I think, is like a nice way to show that isolation in a way that's more cinematic. But definitely like the part, and they filmed it so well, the part where Gabe is watching Sam wrestle. And he's so in love and he can't say it. That is very much what I experienced. That's exactly what it felt like to me. And I felt they pulled that off beautifully. And Sam pulling away towards the popular boys, and feeling like I'm off limits right now, but I still want to be on limits. That was something I experienced a lot. Of course, like my telling of that from my own biography would be like my friends, my boy guy friends could tell I was gay and they moved on, but it was more, but like
at
we
that
had
age,
these
like in middle
things.
school.
Yes, definitely. And of course, like now we're all adults and have like reconnected in different ways. I'm also a bit older than what's being portrayed. Like, you know, we were in college together in
the
2000.
90s. I know, but it still feels, it's still in the 70s. Gabe and I were at, it does still feel relevant though, even though we missed the mark, but it's still 90s enough where like even the way that they dress. And I mean, who's the tall actress? I'm an idiot.
Anna
Conkle, who, here's what's crazy about Anna Conkle. She looks exactly like my least favorite middle school teacher, and
my God,
who I hate so much, but who had a daughter who looked also like her, who I did not like either. And so it's weird watching her because I relate so much to her, like just being tall and so dorky and like just that whole vibe that she has is like, oh God, I'm watching myself, except she's like skinny, but then I also, it's just like, it brings up so many memories for me, like seeing her in general, but Maya too. I mean, the two of them are also so quirky and so funny, which was, you know, certainly how I got through those years too, just being funny and, you know, the funny tall girl or whatever it is, you know?
And how much of being funny at that age is just quoting movies.
Ace Ventura is why I didn't like off myself, probably.
Exactly.
Quote that.
And like, I remember,
that's
You'll
the
get
title.
Jim Carrey on the pod.
No, I will say this about little Gabe though. The actor, what's the actor's name who plays Gabe?
Dylan Gage.
He is like,
He's fantastic.
I want, honestly, you know, I'm on the fence about, I always joke, like I'm on the fence about having kids, and it's like, well, you better figure the fucking shit out, because I have like 2 dusty eggs left with like anime eyes, like do something. But I would have a kid if I could guarantee that it would be that actor. Do you know what I mean? Like, if I knew that this like sweet boy was going to be my son, like I only want to have kids who are fucked up. I don't want to have like some popular piece of shit. I'd be like, get out of my house. Like, you are not my blood, you know? But looking at him, I'm like, well, my joke is that I wish I could have just a chimp. You know, I want to raise like a little chimp in a little costume because they're so fucking cute. And then I wanted to kill me, like rip my face off. And then I'm like that's how I'd like the rest of my life to play out. Just a fantasy. But he's so sweet. But the actor, he had something go viral. I don't know if you saw it this week.
No.
Did you see this? So I have to find it. But he gave an interview, I believe, to Kevin Fallon, if I'm not mistaken.
What did people do in the past? Yeah.
He said, it's right here. Kevin Fallon, who writes for The Daily Beast, interviewed him. And this actor, he said, I think the craziest thing is just like, what did they do all day? This is about people like you and I 20 years ago. What were we doing before cell phones? He said, like, they didn't have YouTube back then. They didn't have memes to share. The video games that they had were like Nintendo 64 and stuff. So I genuinely don't know what they did all day. And it's kind of a read on our childhoods in a way, because I'm like, he's right. Like, what the fuck did we do all day?
What did we do
Rode our
all
bikes?
day?
Like, what did we do? Watch TV?
I remember there was an extra, you know, there's so many background actors, you know, because the scenes that take place in school, you have all the kids in the background too, who don't have lines, but they're there to act and they're in period dress and their props are all from that era too. And I remember there was this adorable little tween girl and her prop was a Discman.
Oh my God.
And I remember her turning to the assistant director and asking, how do you FaceTime on this? I want to show my mom.
There's a skeleton sitting in my chair on the Zoom. I'm out of words. I mean,
and this woman, the assistant director, just being like, how do I even start? Like, there's not FaceTime on here. There's actually not even the internet. There's not data. Like this, and what is a CD? And all of like, I could see the wheels turning. Like, how do I explain to her, you'll never FaceTime on this?
I am so happy we had CDs. I'm so happy that we had physical things that contained things we loved, like books and CDs, instead of just this fucking rectangle where now I feel like I can't even find new music because even the way to do it, like instead of going to the store and like walking through the aisles and having those listening stations, like all of it now is just like, here, like take it, just here, you want to take it. Like it's nothing.
Morning mix. Yeah. I don't know.
Oh my God. My biggest nightmare is
listen to the same thing in the morning.
I listen to the same shit all day. My worst nightmare is someone opening up my Spotify and putting on these are the songs you listen to most, because it would end me. It would end my career. It would certainly end any relationships I have. I mean, it would be over for me. It's all like Little Shop and like, it's so dorky.
I was going to say mine is way too much Broadway.
Yeah, all Broadway.
Than you would ever think.
I didn't know that you were a Broadway person at all.
I don't even know if I am, but there are certain songs that I will always come back to from musicals. And they're some of my favorite songs ever.
I don't know how to love him.
Literally.
My favorite song.
I love that song, but also Everything's All Right. There's
Sing that.
Everything's All Right. That one from I can't.
I don't love that one. I just love.
Oh my God, I love that. The one where Judas is like so like judgmental.
Oh, that is very you. Actually, that is you. You are a judgmental Judas, Gabe Liedman. That is your vibe.
But it's that same woman, Yvonne Elliman.
Oh, I only know the Sarah Bareilles version from the NBC one. Have you heard it?
With Brandon Victor Dixon.
With our fellow college friend BVD. Yep.
Unbelievable.
I know.
Yeah, I watched it on TV. I thought it was great.
It was really good. Have you ever heard Blood Brothers?
No.
Well, I'm just going to sing the whole thing right now. I hope you have nowhere to be. Okay. What time is it? Wait, Tracy, have I talked about Blood Brothers recently? Because I literally gave him running out of material. My brain is like, in a horror movie when two walls are closing in and there's someone getting crushed? That's all of my ideas. Like I have nothing left. I feel like every week I'm on the air for 10 hours in the morning. Then this week I've done 4 hours of this and I feel like I have no more stories to tell. I'm done.
How could you?
But
only you could do. I actually think you're like the only one who could host so much. I think you're
that's so nice.
Made for it.
Thank you for paying me a compliment after the hours of compliments I've paid you. Thank you for turning the tables and saying something nice about me. Okay, wait, Blood Brothers. Listen, it's, oh my God, wait, Gabe, it's so good. So it's British and
your favorite?
my number one. And I saw it with my mother in like the 90s with Kiki D, who you would know from Elton John's Don't Go Breaking My Heart, I Wouldn't If I Tried. That's her.
Yeah.
She played the main lady. And basically it's about this woman who's like broke English piece of shit. And she has 6 kids. Somehow in this universe, their neighbors are rich. I don't know. I don't ask too many questions. Follow me with it.
Right.
She finds out she's pregnant with twins. And this neighbor is like, Mrs. Johnston, give one to me. Like she can't have a baby. And I think her husband thinks she's pregnant. She wants to have kids. So she goes, give one to me. And there's a song. I could do the whole thing for you. Each day I look out from my window. You would shit. Some of the songs are bad. But basically, she convinces the woman to give her a baby. And she goes, now listen, you have to give me a kid, but promise me they'll never, ever find out that they were related. Because if they find out that they were brothers, you're going to kill them. That's the concept behind this musical.
Wow.
So, of course, oh my God, in the scene, please, I'm crying.
How do people think of shit like that?
The Bible, baby. It's the Bible. I feel like biblical shit. So, the first book ever.
Right.
Let me, I think that's the version ever written. So wait, and there's a scene too where she's like, my husband is due back any moment, Mrs. Johnston. I must have my baby. And she goes, well, go on the back and see which one you want and just take him. And she's like, oh, well, no, I couldn't possibly. And she goes, just take him. And now she's Irish, but she takes the baby and she doesn't know which one she took. And what ends up happening is these two, and there are songs in this musical that genuinely, some are bad, but some are like, I think the most beautiful songs ever written. Tell Me It's Not True and Easy Terms. The second this podcast is over, I'll do a listening party with you on the damn Zoom. I don't care. You'll shit. And they end up going to school together and they become friends. They find out they were born on the very same day. They pierce their fingers and become blood brothers.
Blood brothers.
But they don't know that they're related. And then the rich one grows up and he's like addicted to pills. He's like rich, fucked up, like he's depressed. He marries a woman named Linda. Leave me, not now, Linda. Leave me alone, Linda, constantly. And then the other one is like a thief and he's into the other kind of drugs and they're just both fucked up. And at the very end, I'm obviously spoiling the whole thing. It came out 30 years ago. At the very end, they find out that they were brothers. And she goes, I couldn't keep you both. I couldn't afford to keep you both. And he goes, why didn't you give me away? I could have been him. And he shoots him and himself. Oh my God.
Oh! Wow.
It is, honestly, I have chills and I know it. Please look at my arm. I am full of goosebumps. It is seriously great. And that's all I have to say. Please listen to it.
Do you watch World of Dance?
Never.
With Jennifer. Oh, okay.
No.
Well, goosebumps are a big part of the judging there, and Jennifer Lopez, she calls them goosies.
Ew.
You gave me goosies, and it's like that's their catchphrase. That's their Paul Hollywood handshake. Is if you give Jennifer Lopez goosies.
No, I don't like that at all. Well, one other thing, there's a great other reality show called The Great Pottery Throwdown. It's on HBO Max. Do you watch it?
I'm tearing through it. I'm already on season 3.
Wait, honey, I've watched every episode.
Oh my god!
Because guess what? I watched it illegally before it was on HBO. Except for season 2.
Smart.
Isn't it good?
It's really good. I love it. I love the whole cast. I mean, and of course that judge who cries.
Well,
constantly.
so here's the thing. There's a judge on the show. He is built. He looks like a true cartoon monster. He's humongous. He has horrible hairstyles, but he's a sweetie. And he gets emotional when something is like very beautiful or hits in the wrong way. But I find that he cries too much. It's like, dude.
Daniel's over it.
I'm over it. Every second he's crying.
And then it makes the other two, the host and the other judge, say, "Aw," every time.
I know.
It's a little manipulative.
Very much. But by the way, love that show.
But I love it.
Brooklyn Nine-Nine had a cult following that was staggering. I mean, it got let go on Fox and then it was picked up by NBC. I mean, it's just But now, given, in light of everything, I'm just curious. Obviously, you don't work on the show anymore. Is it over for good? What's the deal with Brooklyn Nine-Nine?
No, they're making one more season.
Okay.
And I'm into, these jobs are so social.
Yeah.
Like I would never, I don't think I've walked away from any of my jobs I've been lucky enough to have without making friends with the people. You just work. It's so social. So I'm really in touch with all of them. And of course, during the Black Lives Matter moment, and hopefully is not just a moment, but is hopefully a world-changing experience for everybody.
Yeah.
I immediately just reached out and thought, like, what are you guys going to do about this? And obviously anyone who's tracking the show was wondering the same thing. And it seems to me like it's really front of mind for them.
Oh, good.
And not something that they plan to ignore. Because there was like a time when it was okay for comedies to ignore certain things and just sort of exist in a fantasy world. But from what I get from my friends who still work there, it's very much something that they know that they have to reckon with and not put out propaganda.
Because they're very lovable. The show is hilarious. I'm glad to hear that. I saw suggestions that they said maybe they can make them postal workers. So I was like, it's kind of a funny idea, but also how do you really do that?
Yeah, I think my gut says that they're going to stay cops. Like, I actually don't have the info to spoil.
Yeah, so no, I get it. And don't do it, yeah.
But my gut says that they are going to stay cops and they're going to address it head on in a sensitive way. The cast is so talented and so diverse and they care. And the writers really, they know what they need to do. I wouldn't expect for it to be a season where everyone resigns and, the NYPD is in a fake way shut down or something like that. I think that they plan to keep a foot in reality, but I would imagine you're going to see the characters struggle with it, and they're each going to have to make decisions. I believe it's their final season too,
Wow.
so they have a lot of leeway to get pretty creative. And they're smart, sensitive people.
Well, it was an amazing run too. I mean, many seasons are we in now?
Yeah, I think that this would be season 8.
Yeah, it's insane.
Which is nuts. Yeah.
I always think, how do you just keep that train chug-a-lug-lugging? How do you do that?
It's and when I worked there, it was the longer seasons where it was 23 episodes a season, and it's such a grind. I mean,
how the fuck do you do that?
It's just hard. It's just hard work.
Yeah.
And you feel like your head's in a vice, just trying to get squeezed for ideas. But then that's when you try and just keep it fun and social and make each other laugh.
Writing for TV is the one. I've written things, I've hosted things.
Yeah.
I'm not a good actress, but I will say I'm not a terrible actress, but I'm horrible. Hire me. No. But I will tell you that writing for TV is the one skill that for me, I didn't jump on board early enough to try to do it. Because I'm a lazy person. So it just seemed too hard. It's like learning a language. I was like, I can't do it. And
right.
I've never been able to really squeeze a pilot out or anything, even just the formatting of it. I don't know what
it's intimidating.
It is. And it's like, even to think in the voice of a different character other than my own brain is really hard to do, so I have just so much respect for you guys to be able to do it. I think if I was in a room, is it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thinking as another character or what would this character say? It's almost weirdly back to improv where
for sure.
It's what would Anna say right now when confronted with this is exactly how you write Pen 15 or at Brooklyn Nine-Nine. And in a lot of the shows I've worked on, the writers will pitch a joke in the voice, almost an impression of the actor. And it is almost like seated improv in this weird way. And that's what I think is the funnest. And I think it's maybe why I don't do a ton of stand-up anymore, because I actually prefer thinking of jokes as a different person other than myself.
Hey, Midnight Snackers. I'm here to remind you that there's an online professional counseling service out there for you right now if you need it. Listen, everyone knows times are tough. You've heard me talk about how this pandemic has affected my own life on this very podcast. All everyone really wants is for this nightmare time to be over. But as we sort through the unknown, we're finding our own ways to work through this. And if you're looking for some additional help during this time, why not try BetterHelp? BetterHelp takes the time to assess your needs and match you with your own licensed professional therapist that you can start communicating with in just under 48 hours. You just log into your account to send a message to your counselor, and you can do this on your very own schedule. You can also schedule weekly video or phone sessions with your counselor to chat. And if you get matched with one that you just don't connect with, don't worry, because you can switch it and it's free and easy to do so. Plus, it's more affordable than traditional offline counseling, and financial aid is available. So visit betterhelp.com/Michelle. That's BetterHelp, H-E-L-P, and join the over 1 million people taking charge of their mental health with the help of an experienced professional. In fact, so many people have been using BetterHelp. They're recruiting additional counselors in all 50 states. So, hey, if you're a counselor, BetterHelp is looking for you. And of course, there's a special offer for my listeners. Get 10% off your first month at betterhelp.com/Michelle. Again, get 10% off your first month at betterhelp.com/Michelle. Isn't that funny?
And when it comes to writing an observation of what does Gabe think, that really intimidates me.
Well, also stand up, the grind is so intense. You're seeing such incredible success doing what you're doing here. And I feel like as a stand-up, to see that same equal success, you literally have to hit the lottery jackpot of luck. You can be the funniest person ever, and it's it doesn't necessarily translate in the same way. You know what I mean?
Agreed. And I think that's true of any career and how much of your hourly life has been put into your hosting and your comedy and your cabaret stuff too. It's in order to do it right, you have to give your time, and that's why you don't do that's why people don't find success doing a million different things.
Yeah, that's right.
Because you at a certain point you funnel your energy.
You got to start honing.
You hone.
You got to hone. Hone home.
And that's why you're able
phone
to
home.
host a radio show and a podcast and do your cabaret act and all of that stuff. and lead with Michelle Collins, because that, I think, is where you've put your time, effort, and considerable talent.
Oh, he's back, baby. He's back. Thank you. I know, Gabe, I was thinking of putting a Christmas album together, like a funny one. Not like necessarily a parody album, because it would be like, if you wanted to write a Christmas song with me for the album, do let me know. That would be an easy thing for us to crank out, by the way.
That would be fun.
Let's discuss that off pod, because that'd be fun. Wait, can we talk before we go just about Q-Force? Because I actually don't know a lot about it. I know that it's your show. This is Gabe's baby. Animation seems daunting, like to even hire animators. What is that whole process like?
It's so daunting. Yeah. And it takes forever. I mean, we're coming out in June 2021, and that is not delayed. Like, we actually have we've been blessed to stay on schedule through this whole
you're lucky.
Pandemic, and so lucky. And it's just the process of animation is really, really, really technical. And it takes a really, really long time. And what I've learned is that you can get, like, the technological breakthroughs they've made are, like, making it more realistic looking, but not going any faster.
Right.
Like, it still just takes forever to do. But it has been really fun.
Is the style of animation going to look like something we've seen before, or is it like a new look?
It is I think it'll be pretty familiar. It's like 2-dimensional. The people look like people. They don't look like jelly beans. It's not like Rick and Morty. Yeah. It's not.
They're not jelly beans. You know my favorite line.
They're not little jelly beans.
My favorite line from The Real World London. You know, where Jacinda is looking up at Sharon. I bring it up once a week. Where Sharon, the chubby girl, is on the tightrope, and Jacinda, the model, goes, "Sharon, you look like a big jelly bean," and she's like crying. It's so funny. Anyways, go on. Sorry, you hear the word jelly bean. I have to say it.
The people look like people. Yeah. LA, a lot of it takes place in LA. LA really looks like LA.
What's the concept of the show, other than just
the concept is a ragtag squad of LGBTQ super spies who are like the runts of the intelligence agency.
That's hysterical.
Sort of like, once you come out of the closet, you can't be fired anymore, but it doesn't mean they're ever going to like give you a case.
So they like store them away in a...
Yeah, they are sent to head up like basically the CIA's office in West Hollywood.
That's absolutely hilarious, by the way.
So
are they solving crimes in WeHo?
They solve some crimes in WeHo, but they're also trying to prove themselves on the global stage. And they're sort of just like the underdogs. They're the people no one is rooting for, and they are really good at their jobs, but they also fuck up a lot. And it's 10 episodes, half hour. And there's some through lines. Like, there's some cases that take a little bit longer. There's some surprise twists. And
I love it.
It's an action comedy, which is something I've never gotten to write before, but I am obsessed with action movies. So
what's your favorite action movie? I know mine.
Mine is the second Jason Bourne movie.
Ooh, wow. Ultimatum.
Supremacy. Or Ultimatum? Yeah, no, the second
Bourne.
one.
No, the Bourne Identity. Which is it? I think it's Ultimatum.
I love that I said it's my favorite.
I know. You're like, it's called the second. Wait, Bourne?
Yeah, that's the best one.
What did I say? So I said Supremacy, right?
You said Ultimatum. I said Supremacy.
Did I say Ultimatum? Fuck. You're definitely right.
And I believe that's number 3.
Ultimatum is... I'm looking it up. Just give my phone 9 hours. Yeah, so you're right. Supremacy is second. That's a good one.
That's my favorite series. I love the Die Hards. But Jason Bourne, that's my one.
My favorite Die Hard, controversially, which is no one else's, is Die Hard with a Vengeance.
I was going to say number 3. Yeah,
the 3 is the best.
It's the best with the bottles and Jeremy Irons.
Jeremy Irons, who I also say Jeremy's Iron. Thank you, The Simpsons. Also, Sam Jackson, who is so funny in it. And by the way,
so funny.
That movie, Bruce, is so funny. Everybody in it is good. The only one I would say kind of lags is his ex-wife really sucks in it. And that's it. All the Nazis, all those hot Nazis in the elevator. I'm like, put me in that elevator. I love it. But my favorite action movie, again, has a comedy twist, True Lies.
Oh, True Lies is amazing.
True Lies for me ticks every box. The acting is phenomenal. It's sexy. It's funny. It's just everything to me, that movie.
Yeah, that is such a good call.
Well, That's our time. No, I'm trying to think because I do love action. We are going to wrap in a second. I do love action movies too, but it's lately none of them have been turning me on. Why is that? I'm trying to think if I've seen a really good action movie in the past 5 years.
That's a really good question. I mean, they became very Marvel.
Well, I don't do Marvel
centric.
Movies. I can't.
And that became like the big, almost everything is branded Marvel or Star Wars now for the last maybe 5 years, which are not my genre.
It's not my oeuvre or my genre. They're not either. So,
the Christopher Nolan Batmans were kind of good. No, you're shaking your head. No.
No, I have a rule that my movies have to be under 7 hours for me to remotely enjoy it. And The Dark Knight, I would say the first hour of The Dark Knight is like really exciting. And when Ken Burns showed up for episode 19, I was like, can we put a wrap on this? It was so long. So long.
Yeah, maybe I just like 90s and turn of the century.
Can you imagine?
Action movies a lot.
Let me say this. I can't tell you how excited I was that you were able to do this today with me, because it just, like, every time I talk to you, it's almost for me like therapy, because you make me laugh so much and I just adore you, like, more than almost anyone else. So here's what you have to do to support Gabe Liedman. You got to watch Pen 15, which you should do even if you hate Gabe, honestly. Like, watch it. It's just so funny. Congratulations on so many deserved. Did you watch the Emmys from home? I didn't like them, but that's a separate story.
No, I turned it off.
Yeah. Anyway, Pen 15 on Hulu. You also, listen, once Q-Force comes out, maybe you can come back to the pod or call
I would love
to Sirius.
to.
But that's out next summer. But if you're not already following Gabe at Gabe Liedman, Liedman on Instagram and on Twitter, you're the best there is. And I my dream is to one day collaborate with you, even if it's just like over like a single bucket of tequila. Like, I just want to have quality time with you, Gabe. I adore you.
You're a biggest fan. I think you're so brilliant. You're so funny. You're so beautiful.
Oh my God.
And you've been such a good friend. And
thanks.
Yeah, we will definitely collaborate.
You.
I think you're the best. I miss you too.
That's our show, guys. Thanks for listening to Midnight Snack. If you want to leave us a review, my haters out there, go for it. And my lovers. I'm always waiting. But if you love the podcast, and please tell your friends about it, because I want people to hear, all of these amazing guests I have. And of course me, because I'm selfish. That's it. Follow me on Instagram at Michcoll, MICHCOLL. Love you guys. We'll see you next week. Bye. Earlier in the episode, you guys heard me raving about how much I love riding my electric bike that I got from Aventon. So just a reminder, these bikes are super fun. It can be a little intimidating at first, but I'm telling you that once you get the kick of it, you're going to be hooked. The kick of it? I invented it and I'm going with it. It'll be tough to ever go back to a traditional bike. And like I said, the folks over at Aventon now wanted to hook our listeners up with a brand new electric bike of your very own. They just unveiled this new model. It's called the Level Step Through Commuter e-bike. I want it. That's not even the one I have. And they're giving one away to one lucky listener. So if you want a chance to win, I suggest you head over to aventon.com/midnightsnack to enter. While you're there, check out their full line of e-bike models. I have the Pace 500, and let me just tell you, my legs swing over it. I feel like I'm getting on big horse. I love it. There's no way you're not going to have a blast riding one of these things around town. Just take it from me. Again, go to aventon.com/midnightsnack. You're going to enter before November 30th. That's a cool nearly 3 months. You have to enter this for a chance to win your very own Aventon electric bike. Good luck. I'm really rooting for you, specifically you. And thanks for listening.
Forever Dog.
This has been a Forever Dog production. Midnight Snack with Michelle Collins is executive produced by Brett Boehm, Joe Cilio, and Alex Ramsey. Produced by Tracy Soren. Original theme music by Gabe Lopez. Cover art by Ben Wiseman. For more original podcasts, please visit foreverdogpodcasts.com and subscribe to our shows on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts. Keep up with the latest Forever Dog news by following us on Twitter and Instagram @ForeverDogTeam and liking our page on Facebook.